Imagine your best friend walks into the room, sits down, and starts venting. They've been seeing someone who texts back 3 days later, constantly cancels plans, and treats them like a total afterthought. Within 2 seconds, your brain enters absolute clarity mode. You tell them exactly how to stand up for themselves and why they need to sprint away from that situation immediately. You sound like a combination of a high-priced therapist and a legendary philosopher. You are, quite frankly, a genius. But cut to the next week. You are the one staring at a silent phone, waiting for a toxic person to text you back. Your heart rate is spiking, and all that brilliant wisdom you gave your friend evaporated. You make the exact same mistakes, tolerate the exact same behavior, and drive yourself completely insane. You ask your reflection why you can solve the entire world's problems over coffee, but can't seem to figure out your own laundry list of disasters. The truth is, your brain is caught in a psychological trap named after an ancient, hyper-wise king who was famously terrible at his own life. And the reason why is a brilliant glitch in your cognitive machinery. To understand this internal glitch, we have to look at the man who started it all, King Solomon. According to history, people traveled from all over the world just to hear his wisdom. He could settle complex legal disputes, manage massive state crises, and offer perfect marital counsel. But when it came to his own life, the guy was an absolute train wreck. He ignored his own advice, managed his family terribly, and made a series of reckless decisions that literally ended up destroying his kingdom. In 2014, psychological scientists looked at this story and coined the term Solomon's paradox, the human tendency to reason more wisely about other people's problems than our own. Your brain treats other people's problems like a rental car, but it treats your own problems like a priceless temple. When your friend tells you about their dramatic breakup, your brain switches to battery saver mode. You don't feel the hot sting of rejection or the panic of being alone. Because there is zero emotional noise, your prefrontal cortex runs an objective simulation. You see the big picture because you aren't standing inside the frame. Why is it so hard to be wise when it's our life on the line? Because of a cognitive phenomenon known as psychological distance. When you look at your own problems, you are blinded by what researchers call the illusion of transparency, the sense that your internal feelings are broadcasting outward far more clearly than they actually are. You aren't just looking at the facts, you are drowning in the raw data of your own anxiety, fear, and ego. Your brain hates using maximum energy to think objectively when it's in a state of emotional panic. It enters a crisis mode. It focuses entirely on short-term survival rather than long-term strategic planning. When you think about your own hard choice, your brain runs an automated security guard loop. It screams, what if they hate us? What if we fail? What if we end up alone? You trade pure, lightning-fast intuition for a noisy, looping anxiety track. You are tapping out a rhythm of panic in your head and assuming the whole world is screaming along with you. So, how do you beat King Solomon at his own game? How do you unlock that advisor brain for your own life? You have to trick your system into creating psychological distance. Researchers have tested various strategies to see what breaks the loop, and the single most effective method is almost ridiculously simple: Iliism. That is the scientific term for talking about yourself in the third person. When you are facing a massive life dilemma, instead of asking yourself, what should I do? You need to literally change the script. Ask yourself, what should your name do in this situation? It sounds silly, but to your neural architecture, that tiny linguistic shift changes everything. By using your own name or imagining the problem belongs to someone else, you force your brain to switch from a panicked, subjective view to an objective, external view. You remove the ego, you mute the emotional noise, and you instantly activate that brilliant, wise advisor mode you usually say for your friends. So, the next time you find yourself giving world-class advice to a friend, while your own life feels like a chaotic sitcom, stop calling yourself a hypocrite. Recognize what your physiology is doing. You aren't broken, and your internal radar isn't malfunctioning. You are carrying a beautifully complex, hypersensitive meat computer that is designed to protect your ego at all costs. It was never built to easily look at its own flaws. It was built to navigate the tribe. Appreciate the unique setup of your mind. You already have the wisdom to solve every single problem in your life. You just have to present the data to your brain like it belongs to someone else. Step out of your own shoes. Look at yourself from across the room. Ask the quiet part out loud and watch your internal peace come rushing right back.